Long time no talk.
How we doing? Good to see you.
Looking at spring,
Yes, sir.
how much more comfortable is this than it had to be fly by the seat of your pants last year, trying to catch up and learn everything? Much better is your grasp on what you have and what you're trying to accomplish.
Sure, absolutely. I think the number one thing would be simply the routine that you develop over time when you're in one spot. So that's certainly been a positive. The number of guys we have returning from a year ago that would have the ability to speak the same defensive language is a positive as well. So I think both of those things are at least make heading into spring you feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't think you ever feel like this is going to be easy, right? So, but I think you feel a little bit more comfortable. Yeah, for sure.
The number of freshmen that you threw out there that played and contributed, it might not have felt good at the time. Is that something that you expect to benefit from this coming season?
For sure. I think in those first year guys for us that were coming right out of high school that played for us gave us valuable reps, whether it's a defensive rep or a special teams rep. We had both of those going on. So and the same, those guys are a year older, a year stronger, and a year seasoned. So I think that's a huge thing for them. And obviously, all of those guys are competing to be starters at their position as well. So that they're in that competition for sure.
Which one's going to blow up?
Yeah, I don't know. We've got. Our competition would be a step above of where we were a year ago for sure. So it's simply because you've got a lot of guys coming back that gave you valuable reps. So time will tell on all that for sure.
You added safety Xavier Williams. Interesting background being a quarterback up until last season or during last season. Do you kind of see that intelligence that he has at that safety position to be able to kind of identify offenses and that kind of thing?
You can. First, Xavier's a wonderful human. He's a sharp guy. He has obviously spent more time on the offensive side of the ball than the defensive side, though he was, Middle Tennessee's leading tackler a year ago. So he's got the ability to be a volume tackler by showing that, and he does have that that offensive vision, you would say, to be able to understand what offenses are trying to do, understand formations and those things, and through those things that we're doing with some of our prelim stuff heading into the spring, you can see that for sure. Yep, that's a great point.
Having a guy like Dante Corleone, also Jay Golday, other guys as well that already been through the system, how does it help with the transfers that are coming in, kind of get them acclimated?
Yes, collectively, you would say in our front six group, our three down guys and our three linebackers, we've got a lot of plays coming back in that entire group, and really, based on that and those guys that are in that mix, and you mentioned Dante and Jake, they are great leaders for us collectively as a team and as a defense. So those guys are a key component of all that, and we're fortunate that we've got a lot of guys coming back in that core. Absolutely. Yep.
Can you talk about the new assistants we're going to meet here in a little bit, and how you got to choose them? I know you at least had ties with one of them. Yep.
So Adam and I had worked together years ago. We were GAs together back in. I have trouble sometimes recalling years, but 05 it would have been. Then
Bio said West Virginia.
What's that?
The Bio said West Virginia.
That was, yep. We were in Morgantown then. Yep, absolutely. Yep. And then Eddie and Adam had worked together at UNC Charlotte. So those, and I had known Eddie clearly prior to him coming here as well. Just had not worked with him. Yep.
With the restructuring of the staff, are you kind of in a different position now, more of a true defensive coordinator position where maybe you're not focusing on one specific thing, but you can kind of move around and be a little bit more versatile?
Yeah, that does, based on our current experience and structure, that has helped me a little bit, even as we're trying to plan out how we're utilizing everybody in the springtime. I think also things changed probably with all of that when, the rule changed with, your quality control coaches and those things as well. So, another new hire for us was Josh Runda, who has experience in what we're doing with this structure too. So I think collectively with all that, and I think, prior to with our graduate assistants, we had used those guys a lot in a lot of the things we were doing too. But it does allow you to do that. And naturally, I would hang with Walt Stewart a lot anyway. I love defensive linemen naturally. So, when we were doing some special team stuff, I would work my way down to be with the D line and try to help in those times with when I could. But I feel like collectively as a defensive staff, that one, we've got returners there, that weren't necessarily in, the position coach spots that are going to even be more productive for us probably than a year ago too.
Excited to get in that new building, so maybe you can get a bigger meeting room. Sounds like you need more space.
Absolutely excited to get into the new building. I think everybody is. Yep, for sure.
You had some D linemen, several that were injured last year. How are those guys progressing? And
we did.
Some of those were guys that you were really counting on.
Absolutely. No, they're all progressing. They're all doing things right now, and are either on track or ahead of schedule on where the medical staff thinks they should be. So we're counting on having those guys, when we get started here in a few days. So it'll be great to have those guys back. There's a degree of it too where, simply based on when they were injured and the reps that they have, some of the, guys don't have a ton of experience in what we're doing either. So with that being said, you can't just throw them in there for 1,000 reps either. You're going to have to ease them in because they're coming off injury and all those things too. So we got to do a great job with that.
Should fans expect any position changes maybe when they come out for the April 12th spring game and you guys moving around?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll have any complete wholesale deals. We're going to, and I said this to Chad the other night, part of what I think we're able to do right now is do that as we're simply practicing and installing and working different things a year into it. So we're going to shift and slide some guys into some different spots along the way, maybe within their position group and maybe without of it as well. So that's really what we're trying to get done now to sort those things out on. Simply, one, we want to be able to put guys maybe in a better position than they were at their position, knowing a little bit more about them. Two, I think we're also trying to continue to build depth and competition at all those positions. So through that mindset is how we will get to that, but we will definitely do that.
Any other questions for Coach? All right, thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep, thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yep.